Good morning and welcome to Market Cafe with me, Ankur Mishra and Kanishka Sarkar. In next 1 hour, we'll bring you all the news and updates that matters to you before opening of market, and we'll also tell you how Asian markets are performing to overnight news. But let's get started with US markets first. Good morning, Kanishka. How were US markets on yesterday?
Good morning, Ankur. Well, all three major indices on the Wall Street fell overnight. The Dow Jones Industrial Average that shed nearly 300 points or 0.7%, whereas the S&P 500 that slipped 0.8%, whereas the nasdaq Composite that lost almost 1%. Now, oil futures also ended the session up by more than 4%, which kept the stocks under pressure. Now, this continued decline in stock comes in the face of the mounting conflict between Iran and Israel. During yesterday's trading session, energy was the only sector that ended the day higher. In fact, it gained more than 1% on the back of rising tensions in the Middle East. Now, on the other hand, the healthcare sector that fell more than 1.5% and was the worst performing cohort. Now, healthcare stocks alongside materials and consumer discretionary stocks are now more than 10% off their 52-week highs. Now, going forward, all eyes are now on the Federal Reserve's rate decision, which is due later in the day. The U.S. Central Bank is widely expected to hold rates steady, but investors will be keeping a close watch on Fed Chair Jerome Powell's commentary following that. Other than that, U.S. data to be released today also includes May's housing stats and also weekly jobless claims. That's something that we'll be watching out for. But Ankur, how are things looking on the crude front?
Yes, crude continues to be on fire. In fact, the future surged 4% overnight. WTI was holding near $75. And if we talk about Brent, that was around $76. Now, the mounting tensions between Israel and Iran is continuing to keep oil on rise. And we have seen that Goldman Sachs, in fact, seen oil soaring $100 mark soon. Apart from that, if you also see gold, that has risen, and that was hovering around $33.90 barrel, and even 10-year treasury yield slipped to 4.4%.
That's right. Now let's get tracking the top global stories.